Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NewsBrowse News broadcast. Statistics Canada's labor force survey released on Friday revealed that Canada's economy unexpectedly shed 18,000 jobs in April, causing the unemployment rate to climb to 6.9%. This marks an increase from 6.7% in March and returns the rate to its October level of the previous year, primarily due to an increase in the number of people actively seeking employment. Economists had widely anticipated an increase in jobs for April and a stable unemployment rate. On a year-over-year basis, the country did see a gain of 67,000 jobs. However, Canada has experienced a net loss of 112,000 jobs since January, with the manufacturing and wholesale sectors being the most affected. Such a significant 4-month job loss has not been seen since the October 2020 to January 2021 period during the pandemic, and prior to that, not since 2009, when 241,000 jobs were lost over a similar span. Regionally, Ontario added 42,000 jobs, largely in healthcare and social assistance, but this was offset by a considerable loss of 43,000 jobs in Quebec, mainly in the wholesale and retail trade sectors. The report also indicated that average hourly wages increased by 4.5% compared to a year ago. The Canadian Press. A new report from Statistics Canada, as reported by Radio-Canada International, indicates that Ontario is expected to lose more than a third of its international student population, approximately 92,000 full-time students in public post-secondary institutions, by the 2025-26 academic year. This significant decline follows the federal government's decision in January 2024 to implement a cap on student permits, which has led to a sharp decrease in new international student arrivals across Canada, with Ontario feeling the brunt of the impact. The cap, initially set for 2 years, is now planned for further reductions, aiming for 155,000 students in 2026 and 150,000 in both 2027 and 2028. Previously, Ontario hosted the largest number of international students in the country. Critics like Amir Moghadam, a University of Toronto PhD student, argue that international students are being unfairly targeted as scapegoats for broader issues such as rising living costs and chronic underfunding in the post-secondary sector. University and college union representatives echoed these concerns, emphasizing that the system's reliance on international student tuition fees to compensate for inadequate public funding has made it vulnerable to such policy changes. CTV News has learned new details regarding 2 Ontario residents who were on board a cruise ship affected by a Hantavirus outbreak. Ontario's top doctor, Dr. Kieran Moore, confirmed that the 2 individuals are from the same household in Grey Bruce County and are currently isolating at home. They returned to Ontario on April 25th and have remained asymptomatic throughout their daily 45-day monitoring period. Dr. Moore emphasized that they are not confirmed cases but contacts from the ship, and there's good assurance they have not inadvertently spread any risk to the general public. He also noted that Ontario does not expect any additional patients from the vessel. A plan is in place to provide care should either individual develop symptoms. The outbreak linked to the MV Hondius cruise ship that traveled around isolated islands in the South Atlantic has so far resulted in 8 confirmed hantavirus cases globally, including 3 deaths. Hantavirus is typically spread through contact with infected rodent excretions, with person-to-person transmission being rare, according to the World Health Organization. Radio-Canada International reports that a cybersecurity incident involving the Canvas learning software has impacted thousands of schools globally, including prominent Ontario institutions like the University of Toronto, OCAD University, and Ontario Tech University, as well as the University of British Columbia and Simon Fraser University in BC. In structure, Canvas's US-based parent company disclosed the breach on May 1st, stating that a criminal threat actor was responsible. Personal data such as names, email addresses, student ID numbers, and messages might have been affected, though no evidence of compromised passwords, government, or financial information has been found. The company initially reported Canvas was fully operational by May 7th, but the Associated Press later noted further outages. A hacking group called Shiny Hunters has claimed responsibility for the attack, with screenshots indicating threats to leak data and ongoing discussions about extortion payments. A ransom letter shared online by Ransomware Plunsa Live alleges data from over 275 million people across 9,000 schools was accessed, threatening to leak it if payment is not made. CTV News reports that 3 individuals were targeted by a replica firearm, believed to be a pellet gun, outside a synagogue in North York, Toronto, on Thursday night. The incident occurred just before 11 p.m. on Bathurst Street near Wilson Avenue. One person was struck and sustained minor injuries. Toronto police are actively investigating the incident and are working to determine if it is connected to a similar hate-motivated incident that took place on April 30. In that previous event, 3 visibly identifiable members of the Jewish community were shot at with a replica firearm near Bathurst Street and Lawrence Avenue. Police have not yet released any suspect descriptions for the latest shooting and are speaking to witnesses and seeking video footage. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.